You're listening to the Patriot Nation Podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Matt St. Jean here. Patriots coming off a 19-3 win over the Chicago Bears in the Windy City. You may notice Pat Lane not here. He was in Chicago for the Patriots win. He was also at the Notre Dame game Saturday night and at the Blackhawks game tonight. So enjoying his time in Chicago. So you got just me here tonight, taking the late night shift, recapping a Patriots victory. Patriots head to the Midwest, get a win. Second time they've done that this year. They also won at Cincinnati when they were, I think, 6.5-point underdog in that one as well. So, a couple upset victories here with this team going on the road to the Midwest. 3-7 on the year. That means that they are tied with the New York Jets. And that's either going to be a three-way tie, including the Miami Dolphins, if the Dolphins, I believe, lose tomorrow night, or a two-way tie if the Dolphins win against the Rams. I don't remember their exact record right now. Dolphins are 2-6. Okay, so the Dolphins lost, Patriots and Jets are going to be tied for second place in the AFC East at 3-7. With the Dolphins win, it's going to be a three-way tie at the bottom of the division. 3-7 right now. A lot of talk about how this team compares to last year. Patriots were 2-8 at this point in the season last year. So, this year's group picking it up a little bit ahead of schedule. We'll see what that means with the schedule coming up. You don't play the same strength of opponents in the same order each season, different circumstances, but 10 games in, the Patriots are one game better, which I think is, that's what we're looking for here. Improvement, trending in the right direction. This was an interesting football game for sure. I'm going to go through. I got extensive notes on this to go through this game with you guys, but I think the headline on this: the Patriots had some early struggles, kind of an up and down start to this game in a number of ways. They were able to overcome that and kind of overwhelm this Bears team. 9 sacks from the defense. Caleb Williams had nowhere to throw and nowhere to go for pretty much the whole afternoon today. And the Patriots were able to move the ball. Productive day on offense. 323 yards for New England. That's the most that they've had since the game in Germany last year against the Colts. Somehow, they had 340 yards in that game. And they scored just 6 points. 19 points today, a little bit better. 1 for 5 in the red zone. I think something that we'll need to improve, at least for touchdowns. They got there a lot. As you can see by the score, had to settle for field goals quite a bit. And they had 4 3-and-outs, but only 1 sack for no yards today allowed by the offense. Defensively, 142 yards allowed, 3 points allowed. Both of those are the fewest that the team has allowed since the Marcus Jones game, the 10-3 win over the New York Jets back in 2022. So a nice, this is kind of a, dare I say, Belichickian performance from the team. Complimentary football, especially in the middle of the game, winning the middle 8, a plus 10-point differential in the middle 8 of the game. Able to control the clock when you needed to, able to get into the red zone and move the ball consistently, and then just clean up rookie mistakes defensively. A rookie quarterback on the other side, and they made things difficult for him. So this is really what you wanted to see, a nice bounce-back performance from this team. The Bears, obviously 9 sacks. They were 1 for 14 on third down. This was an issue for New England's defense earlier in the year. Not so today. And the Bears averaged under 4 yards per rush, 3.7. So, some signals there of the Patriots moving in the right direction. Is it quality of opponent? Is it the team doing things right? I'm not sure. I think we're going to find that out in the coming weeks. But this is the kind of question we want to be asking. You want the team going in the right direction. So I'm just going to kind of walk through what happened in this game. relive it and give you my thoughts about what was going on in this one. And we'll start right off the bat. I think one of the things that I noticed was Jalen Polk in the starting lineup. First snap of the game, he's out there. I know a lot has been made about his involvement in this offense, his struggles. Under 100 receiving yards on the season thus far. A number of drops, struggling with contested catches, which are supposed to be a strength of his. Struggling mentally at points. I like the faith that they are showing in him to give him the start here and give him opportunities right off the bat. And you want this team to start hot. First play of the game, you're able to get a decent chunk with a nice run. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on that. Your first series ends with a 3-and-out. Why? You got a bad snap on the second down play. May tries to save it, but it ends up in an incompletion. And then on third down, you get what basically amounts to a coverage sack. So yeah, this is not how you want to start a game on the road, where you're able to stay out of the chains on first down, and then simple mistake on second down puts you in a third and longer than you should be, and you can't take advantage of it. And then after that, not great punt coverage. Bryce Baringer outkicks his coverage maybe a little bit. Brendan Schooler, going right at the returner. He kind of loses contain there and lets the returner get outside, and then a number of Patriots players get sealed off to that side. So you get a sizable return for the Bears. One player I noted, though, on that, Curtis Jacobs, who's one of the players that got sealed off pretty far down the field as the linebacker, number 52, and he was the one that hustled all the way back and ended up making the tackle. So a really, really nice hustle play there from somebody who was not in camp with this team, who's trying to make a difference on this roster. Nice play by Jacobs. And then after that, he actually gets the start on defense at outside linebacker. He's in there on the first play, and right off the bat on that first series, the defense was able to kind of stay ahead of schedule. Anthony Jennings gets a coverage sack, and then after that, they break out what we now know is the Longhorn package. Brendan Schooler on defense, putting him out there to spy Caleb Williams. 4-man rush. Brendan Schooler is in there as the spy, and you're able to get the stop on an early 3rd and long, and then you almost block the punt after it. They got in there, so the defense here kind of able to bail out the offense and special teams that had put Bears starting at midfield on that possession. The net punt ends up being like 13 yards on it, and the offense is starting in good position. They start out this drive hot. Play action, Drake May with an absolute dot to Austin Hooper down the right side. And I love that they're dialing that up. First and 10. We're gonna like the first drive of the game, your first play is a run, it's successful. Second drive of the game, your first play is play action. So you're building off things that you have tendencies that you have started earlier in the game. And then May fitting that ball into Hooper, who had a really nice game, had a great adjustment on the ball in the air, able to create some space from the defender to win at the catch point. Veteran savvy move, and able to get a big play there. And then your next 2 runs after that, you run it twice in a row, pick up a first down, you don't even get to third down. A note on this, the team's first 4 runs all went for at least 5 yards. So, talking about toughness, being able to stop the run the ball, something they talked about, establishing that early here. They did have a run for no gain after that. Drake May scrambles, sets a 4th and short, and they're able to pick that up. They get into a 3rd and long again, and they had, I think, what may have been the play of the game if things go a little bit differently here. May drop back on 3rd down, nothing open. He's rolling to his right looking for anything, and kind of throws it, and he throws it away. But he's not throwing it away. KJ Osborne has created the tiniest amount of space in the end zone, and he puts it right on him, and Osborne is able to tap his toes for what would have been a touchdown if Osborne hadn't gone out of bounds right before that, making the play illegal touching. But this reminded me of a play 2 years ago, Thursday Night Football, Pats and the throwbacks, Josh Allen in town. Josh Allen rolls out, and Mac Wilson can't get a sack on him, and he throws it into the end zone for a touchdown. And in that moment, one of the issues for New England was you can't match that. You don't. Josh Allen is special, and he can make those plays. You don't have a quarterback who can make those plays, so you can't answer that. You don't have a response for it. Now the Patriots have a response for it. So we're talking centimeters more from your wide receiver there. That's a touchdown. That's a highlight play that you're going to be seeing on Red Zone, and you're going to be seeing on ESPN and all over Twitter. So, really, really nice play there from Drake May to throw that with touch accuracy, keeps eyes down the field while he's rolling. Obviously, it doesn't end up counting. Joey Sly knocks in the field goal, so Pats get on the board first, which was, always want to play with a lead. I see Burley in the chat solo tonight. He asks, yes, Pat is in Chicago as we speak, enjoying the city, so holding down the fort for him this evening. I had mentioned before that it was kind of an up and down start, and that kind of continued here. I think you saw some good special teams plays, but tough punt coverage the first time you're kicking the ball away, and then they'd go for a short kickoff on the second one, and Joey Sly kicks a little bit too short. So the flag. The Bears are starting at the 40-yard line, and they were able to quickly get a decent sized run with the Patriots in one of their deep safety looks, running to the outside. This has been an issue for this defense. Just not enough men in the box. They're able to find a hole, execute the blocks, 9-yard run. But after that, they try to go outside to the right side once they get over midfield. And Jonathan Jones, who I thought had a good day, was able to make a tackle, to limit the gain. He made a really nice play on it. And then the play after that, you talk about guys being well coached. Jelani Tavai's guy who had really struggled without Bentley next to him earlier this season. Thought he played a second really good game in a row. Bears run it to the left side after this, and he is literally one step ahead of them. He is moving to the point of attack where that run is going to be before they even snap the ball. I think that's great preparation defensively. Clearly, this team is well scouted at this point, which, that's the improvement that we were looking for. And then Keon White makes a decent play, setting the edge, forcing the runner back to the inside. And it was Jaquelin Roy who was the guy able to come from behind and make a tackle for a loss. So, I think they'd gotten into 2nd and 5. Tackle for a loss forces it to now 3rd and 7. So this is something, this is kind of complementary defense right here, making good enough plays against the run on early downs to force the 3rd and longs. And 3rd and long, they don't go into their Longhorn package with Brendan Schooler out there, but they do bring a 5-man rush. Mapu comes on a blitz. They get pressure. Dietrich Wise gets the sack. Bears are out of field goal range. So this is complementary defense. Jonathan Jones as a corner, making a good play against the run on first down to limit the damage. Number of guys winning their assignments on second down to force a loss. Third down, now you're able to play the defense you want to play. You blitz, Bears can't pick it up, and they're out of field goal range. So a really, really good defensive sequence there. Impressive stuff that they were building on. Patriots get the ball back, and as I'd mentioned, their ability to run the ball to open up some of these drives. 8-yard run. Third drive of the game. It starts with an 8-yard run. You're starting ahead of the chains. After that, really nice play design. Quick screen to Pop Douglas to the right side. I like the design. I loved the timing. The Bears are bringing a blitz from that side so that the Patriots have men over there. They have the advantage. May recognizes the blitzer and is able to kind of sidearm throw around him to make sure the ball gets where it needs to go. And they pick up 17 yards on the play. So Like just like that, that's 25 yards and 2 plays to open the drive. Unfortunately, again, I mentioned the up and down start. This is where the downs come in. Call a play action bootleg after that. May rolls to his right. No one's open. Says he's throwing it away. Totally misses on the throwaway. Underthrows it. Ends up right to a defender uh, for the pick. This is the second week in a row now that May has thrown a pick to an underneath defender. So I think something to watch for. And this is something, in his UNC tape, you would see occasionally. The game against Minnesota is one that comes to mind where he just occasionally has these brain fart plays, and this was one of them. He said he was trying to throw it away, and he underthrew it. It's one heck of an underthrow. Looked a lot like he was throwing it to the tight end, never saw the defender, and threw it right to the linebacker or safety there. But they said that he said that it was a throwaway, and he just underthrew it. Regardless, Bears once again starting with good field position, and the defense just forces an awesome 3-and-out. Jonathan Jones again clamps down hard on an underneath route on first down for a tackle to push a guy back. And then on third down, the Bears try a screen into a blitz very similar to what the Patriots had just called to Pop Douglas, except Marcus Jones, who's the blitzing corner, recognizes it and almost picks it off, forces Caleb Williams to throw it to his receiver pretty far back. And then Jalen Hawkins, beats his defender and makes a tackle in the backfield for a loss on third down. So, a quick 3-and-out forced by the defense. And this is something the Bears really struggle offensively. And, New England's been up and down on defense. It's been an inconsistent unit. Teams have been able to run against the Patriots. This is the kind of game that could be a get-right game for the Bears offensively. Patriots did not let that happen. Right out of the gate, a bunch of big plays to, there's good field position, I think, on their first 2 or 3 possessions here for the Bears, and the Patriots able to get stops on all of them. I think this is their first 3 possessions. Yeah, the first 3 possessions, good field position, stops on all of them. Unfortunately, New England's next possession, this is where the game kind of got into a little bit of a slog in the middle of the first or the second quarter. Nothing doing. Run for 1 yard, scramble for not much, and then an incomplete pass. Get behind the chains early, or behind where you're supposed to be early in the down, and not able to recover. So 3-and-outs for each offense. And then this is where the Bears would answer back and tie the game. I think this is where you start to get. You're watching the game, you get a little bit concerned at this point. Bears are able to move the ball. They were able to come down and tie the game. A couple scrambles in there from Caleb Williams. You're like, all right, can the defense bounce back from this? They were able to get a couple quick hitters for him to open up the drive to get 2 first downs. Play action bootleg. They hit Rome Odunze in the flat, and they get a man beater stack concept with a quick out to the left side to Keenan Allen on Marco Wilson with a rub route. Now the Bears, of course, would false start as they have been prone to do. See the Patriots sprinkle in some zone blitz in there. They were blitzing a lot this afternoon. The Bears' offensive line never really figured it out. There's a banged-up offensive line that hasn't played well all year, and they played like it. It was rough. But there was a 4th down in there, a 4th and medium. Patriots brought a 4-man rush on it, and they'd been doing a lot of 4-man rush with a spy or a 5-man rush to try to contain him. On this one, it looked like it was a 4-man rush with man coverage, 1 deep safety, and then I think they had a receiver doubled or a kind of a hook zone safety. So there was no one spying Caleb Williams. He was able to convert on a 4th down to get into field goal range. DeAndre Swift then had a pair of 8-yard runs in a row. So, all right, it's the scrambles from the quarterback. It's the running back gashing you. Things are getting concerning, but defense buttons things up. You get 2 run stuffs in a row. You force a 3rd and long. They bring out the Longhorn package again. So the Longhorn package is Brendan Schooler in there as the safety, as a QB spy. And he recognizes very quickly when Caleb Williams tries to scramble or get outside the pocket on 3rd down, chases him down, gets a QB hit there as Williams throws it away, and you force the field goal attempt. So that was, you're tied at this point in the game, midway through the second quarter, and then we get into the sequence where I think the Patriots, this is where they decided the game. You get the ball back, 7 minutes and 17 seconds left on the clock, tie game on the road. You've been able to move the ball at points, but you've had a hard time turning that into points. What do? You're going to come out, you get a third down conversion on your first set of downs, your first third down conversion of the game. Drake May finds Pop Douglas on it. This was interesting. I'm going to have to watch this play back a couple times because I thought Pop Douglas was open at first and May didn't throw it right away. Pop gets open on a quick out and the defenders start running that way, and May hits him with the pass, kind of delayed, throwing it back to the inside, leading him away from the defenders, and who are kind of have to overcorrect for it, and able to pick up a ton of ground there. So moving the chains. Then there's going to be and I forgot, before that, on the second down, they just hit a quick hitter to Kayshon Boutte on the left side. I'm going to come back to that. Move the chains. They called the trick play, which I really, really liked. It was like a jet motion handoff into a reverse, back to the quarterback, and then you throw in the flat to Pop for a little screen. Only got you like a 7-yard gain, but good enough. That ended up setting up a 3rd and 1 where May was able to hit Austin Hooper on a really nice pass. He found Hooper a bunch today. Love that big target out there. Now you're down inside the red zone. They put Jaheim Bell out on the field, and they used him blocking across the formation on an inside shotgun run. And Bell has what it was easily his best block of the season. So rookie starting to step up, and they talked him up this week as a guy who's been improving. You see it right there. That was a 9-yard run from Ramondre Stevenson, getting you down near the goal line. Sets up another 3rd and 1 where the team doesn't block it up. They go 7 offensive linemen. They're going to put Layden Robinson all the way over outside the left tackle. City so at fullback. They don't block it off as well as they wanted to. But Ramondre Stevenson shows fantastic balance to stay on his feet and pick up a first. Really, really nice running from Stevenson there. And that sets up the game's first and only touchdown to Jalen Polk, man of the hour. They had a little play action play with him blocking and releasing in the flat, which was awesome. And they set it up beforehand. On the second down, after the Hooper catch, before Ramondre converted, they had a run up the middle where they bring in both receivers to be super condensed to the formation and have them block. And they went right back to that formation on the play action play. That's play action. So the receivers initially block and then release out into the flat. I think Polk did a good job of engaging with the guy he was supposed to be pretending to block. And he pulled him forward just a little bit, get him off balance and run away from him. Makes the catch. A nice little confidence booster for him. His only catch on the day. 1 catch for 2 yards isn't special, but it was a touchdown, and they're calling his number in a key moment, kind of when you had to have it. And then with this, you take the clock down. So you're under 2 minutes at this point. You've got a 10-3 lead. The Bears come out. You're able to force a throwaway on the first play. They do pick up a first, but then one of the key plays, a guy who I think was very important in this game, Jeremiah Farms. 1st and 10, Bears decide to run a draw play so they can keep the clock moving. Jeremiah Farms destroys his blocker, gets right by him, makes a tackle in the backfield. Caleb Williams has errant throws. Very inaccurate day for him on the next 2. And the Bears are forced to punt. And then Marcus Jones with a 24-yard punt return on it. So complementary football, situational football, key point in the game. This type of stuff, messing up this execution around this thing, this time in the game has been something the Patriots have had issues with all year long. They dominated it today. You kill clock at the end of the first half, get a touchdown out of it with a couple key plays, a couple trick plays that you execute, things like that. Player makes a stop for you, and then you get the big punt return from Marcus Jones. So now you have a real shot at being able to pick up yards and get a field goal out of it. Now, there's not a lot of time left in the half at this point. Patriots get the ball back with 35 seconds left. They hit a quick hitter to Pop Douglas over the middle and a run by JaMychal Hasty. So that moves the chain once. 16 seconds left. Patriots are, what is this? Yeah, right around midfield. Yeah, at the 47-yard line of the Bears. So you're not in field goal range yet, and you don't have any timeouts at this point because you had two timeouts before this drive. You had two plays that ended inbounds. And then you had what may have been one of the other biggest plays of the game. Kayshon Boutte on an in-breaker. Drake May hits him perfectly. Great anticipation, great accuracy, hits him in stride as he's pulling away from the defender. Boutte gets some yards, gets down, hands the ball to the ref. The whole team gets to the line. They snap it with 1 second on the clock. Brilliant execution from a well-coached team. And with this, they catch the Bears offsides and get an extra, the Bears weren't hurrying up there. So they're able to get an extra 5 yards closer on the field goal attempt. So you go from the 47-yard line, the catch takes you down to the 24 from Boutte. You pick up another 5 to the 19, makes it a 37-yard field goal, only a little bit longer than an extra point on what was a very windy day. Joey Sly nails it. If you look at like the win probability graphs for this game, this was kind of the swinging point. The fact that the Patriots were able to get 10 points in the final 2 minutes of the half. You take a 3-3 game to a 13-3 game, push it out to 2 possessions, and this is really where they never looked back. Before the touchdown, the Patriots had it was about a 50-50 chance to win the game. And then at halftime, 65% chance of winning the game. Able to boost that with that right there. And then the defense would kind of take over when they start the second half. I'm going to get into that defense here in a sec. But first, a word from our sponsor, PrizePicks. I don't think I said it off the top of the show. It's sponsored by PrizePicks, also by Game Time. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sign up today. You get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. I think I clicked into the wrong ad read here. Here we go. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. Now, this is the part where I'm supposed to tell you about our picks this week. Unfortunately, Pat is the one who writes those down and keeps track of that. So I don't know how we did with our picks this week. I'm sure we're going to tell you on our show later this week. We've had a ton of fun using PrizePicks this season. We make our picks every week. I have kind of been kicking Pat's butt on those, to be quite honest with you. Maybe that was the case this week, although I'm not 100% sure. So check back in on Wednesday to see how we did there. But yeah, no, we've been using it all week long. It's a ton of fun. I can't recommend it enough. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, that's a word from our sponsor PrizePicks there. So the Patriots go into the half up 13-3. I don't think I need to be as detailed here in the second half about what happened. So the game, a lot of the second half was it was a lot of the Patriots defense just shutting things down. One play I will talk about, I mentioned Jeremiah Farm shutting down a draw at the end of the first half. He did another big play in the second half. He gets a sack on the second down, second play out of the half for the Bears. Kind of a second effort sack for him. Keon White also involved in that pressure. And then that sets up a complimentary defense. That sets up your third and long. They blitz. Pressure gets there immediately. You're able to force a punt. You get the ball or Patriots get the ball back. You get an 11-yard run from Ramondre Stevenson. Again, this was a theme of theirs. They had a bunch of these early in the possession runs that were chunk plays, or at least, successful runs. 11 yards there. Unfortunately, this is a drive that would be hampered by penalties. You got a play action bootleg. May hits Kayshon Boutte down the field for a big play. Michael Wenne was too far down the field, so you got to come back. Patriots do pick up a first on it, but then the next set of downs, there was a false start by DeMontre Jacobs that kind of killed the series there, second down. And you have to punt. I will say, something I kind of noticed as a theme, 3 out of their 4 possessions right here in the middle of the game, they were going to Kayshon Boutte on second and long. On that touchdown drive, there on the play before they threw to Pop for a big play, quick hitter left side, Kayshon Boutte. Quick hitch against off coverage, May hits it, and they get it. On this possession here, it was a slant. It was second and long after the downfield penalty on Michael Onwenu. Kayshon Boutte wins the slant. May goes to him on the left side. He picks it up. Second and long, I'm going to Boutte. And then, jumping ahead a little bit, the next possession, that would be, I think it was the next possession. Yeah, there was a second and long early in the next possession. Off coverage, hitch, May goes out and finds him. So in that particular down and distance, second and long, Kayshon Boutte was Drake May's go-to guy in this game. Obviously, on that last possession, didn't lead to anything. Patriots end up punting it away. Bears get a couple first downs. Cole Kmet had a couple nice plays there, but again, the Bears try to run to the outside, hand off to DJ Moore on a jet sweep. Marcus Jones fights through a blocker, gets the leg of DJ Moore, and gets a tackle. Caleb Williams tries to throw over the middle after that, and Jelani Tavai, a great game for him. Gets his hands on it. Ball gets deflected and almost intercepted by Jonathan Jones in the middle of the field, and now we're in third and long. Send out the Longhorn package with Brendan Schooler on the field, and he picks up a sack, which he said after the game was his first sack, not just in the NFL, but at any level. So Brendan Schooler got a sack before Joel Embiid ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals. How about that? Phenomenal day for him. I think I want to see more of Brendan Schooler on defense. I liked what I saw. The next possession, the second and long, pass to Kayshon Boutte, but they get in third and short, can't pick it up. So, a 3 and out. Pat's at 4 3 and outs on the day. I think, that is something that you'd like to improve if you can. Bears get the ball back. Stout run defense by Anthony Jennings, Keon White, sets up a third and medium. Go back to the Longhorn package. Bears know that it's man coverage. It's Cole Kmet one-on-one with Del Pettis, and Del Pettis puts the clamps on him. Read the route the whole way, a little route right at the sticks. Gets his hands on the ball. Kmet really didn't do anything to open up space there. And Patriots get a 3 and out. Get that stop again. And then Patriots get the ball back. Another 3 and out. Bears defense gets a good stop. Bears get the ball back. There was a play in there with Jonathan Jones. Again, first play of the drive or second play of the drive, really physical off the edge to try to just slow down a run to the outside. He did a good job. Bears get a false start, so it ends up setting up a third and long, and they're able to blitz on that one. And Del Pettis again, they get him as a free rusher. The Bears offensive line had no idea what was going on today. Absolutely no clue what was going on the field. Pettis, free rusher, easy sack for him. Bears have to punt from deep in their own territory. And then on second down after that, May picks up 19 yards with a scramble. So because you have forced the stop deep in Bears territory plus decent punt return, now the scramble and you're cooking. You're in scoring territory already. May recognizes man coverage pretty quickly. Receivers are pretty much all running to the right side of the field. He runs to the left. There's no one there. He then lowers his shoulder into a defender, a linebacker who's down the field. Always makes you a little bit nervous when you see your franchise quarterback out there lowering his shoulder into bigger defenders. But I think we're going to have to get used to it with what Drake May is. He's a little bit reckless at times. That's the kind of guy he is. You don't want to take that away. That's what makes him special. You're going to have to deal with him, put himself in harm's way every once in a while. Should probably slide a little bit more, but I love the toughness. I love the energy. I'm sure his teammates love it too. As long as he's still able to do it while protecting himself and staying healthy, I got no real problems with it there. But then Antonio Gibson had a couple nice runs for a first down. Another theme in this game, there was a holding penalty on Kayshon Boutte on a screen, so you get into 1st and 20. Pats convert it in 2 plays. Antonio Gibson, 10-yard run on 1st and 20. Next play, over the middle to Austin Hooper, they convert and get down near the goal line. Unfortunately, Drake May almost threw a pick in the end zone. He threw behind, I think, Hunter Henry in the end zone, right into the hands of a defender who dropped it. So you settle for a field goal. I mentioned right at the top, though, 1 for 5 in the red zone. I think this right here is the part of the game where you really wished that the team could have separated a little bit more. The field goal here goes from 13-3 to 16-3. It's still just a 2-possession game at that point. And then after that, the Patriots get another stop, get the ball back, another field goal drive where they can't get it into the end zone. So 19-3, quick math, still 16 points, which is barely. It's 2 possessions, barely with the 2-point conversions. But I think if you were to take a negative tone on this, I think probably a little bit disappointing that they couldn't take a 2-possession lead at the half and turn it into a 3-possession lead in the second half, despite getting down near the goal line twice. I think that is an area where they're going to want to do better. I thought May had, a bad play on that one. I almost threw a pick. Probably could have been a touchdown if he puts it in a better spot. But at this point in the game, the Bears also did not know what was going on. Patriots were able to kill a clock. That field goal to make it 19-3 is happening with just over 2 minutes left in the game, so it's pretty much over. You get a pair of 4th down stops in there to ice it, where the defense was just able to absolutely tee off. And this is something we haven't really seen from the team in a long time. When was the last time this team had a 2-score lead on somebody? It has not happened very often for them. And I thought their blitz packages were really creative. They were very effective. I thought that DeMarcus Covington did a great job prepping his guys for this week. Now, that said, this could be about the Bears more than about the Patriots. But I liked that they were able to find a weak point, a pressure point, and just keep pushing on it for 60 minutes. 9 sacks in this one, tied for the second most in franchise history. 11 was the max. I don't know the last time they had 9 sacks in the game. If one of you knows, please let me know. But Caleb Williams really had nowhere to go on this one. And they really poured it on late. Those last couple possessions, they were able to really get some pressure. Anthony Jennings gets I just want to talk about this play. The Bears are down 16-3. There's 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter, so you need to go. They call a play action bootleg left for Caleb Williams, where he only has 2 receivers he can throw to, and there's no action. Did I say play action? I don't think it was play action. It's just a bootleg to the left. There's no action moving to the right. So he has to roll to the left, There's only two receivers. Neither gets open, and Anthony Jennings is just never blocked. He's got nothing to do on this play but run straight at Caleb Williams the whole time. He runs right at him, and he tackles him for a sack. I did not understand that play calling. Bears were able to move the chains and get into New England territory, but just, some inaccuracy from Caleb Williams, some pressure, some penalties, not able to get anything done. Obviously, the Pats get the field goal, and then 16-point game, under 2 minutes to go. You had a sack from Jelani Tavai, which got called back because of roughing the passer. And then he ended up making up for that on the next play by getting a sack. I think Keon White got a sack right after that. And then that was 3rd and 25. So that basically wrapped it up right there. They checked it down twice, and the Patriots kneeled it out from there. But yeah, I think this is a day with. I think this is the type of game that I think a coach kind of loves. Talk about toughness. We're able to, for the most part, cover kicks and punts. Only one blown assignment on a punt all day, and it was on the first one. So you quickly tune up and fix that. You return punts on your own, make some big plays there. Marcus Jones with a couple big returns. You're able to run the ball, over 140 yards on the ground from the team. They were kind of, they were able to move the ball pretty consistently on the ground. Yeah, 144 yards, over 4 yards a carry, able to dominate there against a undermanned Bears defense here. Then the other side of the ball, able to terrorize the Bears up front, to hold them to not being able to run the ball very well, low success rate, and then let them implode with their pass blocking. So really, really good stuff from a toughness perspective. I thought Drake May was a little bit up and down. Obviously, the interception is a negative. I thought at some point early in the game and some points in the third quarter, he was still figuring out the Bears defense, and his receivers didn't necessarily do a lot for him. But offensive line, I think, wasn't up, just one sack. And obviously the movement in the running game, which is impressive. And tight ends. We've got James in the chat here. He says, have we discussed how good it is to have two solid tight ends to help Drake develop? It's awesome. It's nice having two bodies out there that are big you can just throw it to. And I like the way they're using them. So I think one thing that we talked about in camp, and this is another question here from Mr. Roboto asks, where is Thornton? Thornton, healthy scratch. He was a starter week 1. Reason he's a starter week 1 is because he's fast and he's tall. And in theory, he can be your X receiver. What is an X receiver? That's going to be a guy who's going to play on the line of scrimmage and on the outside, and they're going to run a lot of vertical routes. But what's important about this is because they're lined up on the line of scrimmage, they're easier to press. The Patriots have a lot of receivers who kind of struggle with the press. Booty's all right, but he can be up and down. Jalen Polk is still learning. Pop Douglas is a smaller guy. Hendrick Bourne, who we're going to talk about that, I think, after the next commercial break, didn't really play. He's not great against press. KJ Osborne's not great against press. They use the tight ends in there to create space for the receivers. So in passing situations, they'll go with 12 personnel, one running back, two tight ends on the field. And on one side, they'll have a bunch formation where Hunter Henry is on the line of scrimmage and the two receivers are behind him. On the other side of the field, it'll just be Austin Hooper. And I love this because it forces defenses to, one, declare. When you have two tight ends and you're going to align them that way, you got to figure out what you're doing on defense in a way that's usually going to tell the offense something about what it is that you're doing. It's just a unique way to line up. So if you're going to play man coverage against that, all right, well, you're going to see a safety walked out on Austin Hooper on one side of the field, or you're going to see players lined up a certain way on the bunch on the other side. It also means that your best players, your best receivers who struggle with press don't have to deal with that. They can just get down the field more easily and win their routes, which I think is nice. And I like that Jaheim Bell got involved as a blocker in this one. I think you're going to see more from him year 2, year 3 if he develops, but I'm glad that we're starting to see it already. I hope that this is something that can continue and he can get even more involved down the stretch. I'd love to see some tight end screens to him, some flat routes where he can get in space. He's an athlete, so let him get the ball in space. That would be awesome. But like James said, having a pair of tight ends who can be big, solid targets for a quarterback who can spray the ball sometimes, I think is huge. Mr. Roboto says their last 9-sack game was November 6th, 2022 against the Colts. I believe that is the Sam Ellinger game, if I'm remembering this correctly. I could be confusing it with a different game against the Colts in this time span. But yeah, that was not the best football game. Did if I'm remembering correctly, Jonathan Jones had a pick six in that one too. Yeah, 2022 season, man, they had so many defensive special team scores that year. Yeah, so a couple notes on this game too. While I kind of mentioned that this was the Patriots' first win while losing the turnover differential since Mac Jones's fifth start, his second win ever, the comeback win in Houston in 2021. This was the team's first win by 2 scores since the win at Arizona in 2022, Monday Night Football. They won 27-13. Raekwon McMillan had a scoop and score fumble, I believe, to push that one. And that was the game where Kyler Murray got hurt towards ACL, like the first or second play. And Colt McCoy ended up playing most of it. Strange, again, like I said, 2022 is such a strange season to look back on. But yeah, I'm going to talk a couple more thoughts as we wrap up this game and look for the future after this. But we have we got another word from our sponsor here. And I think you know who it is. It is Game Time. This is an NFL podcast, but it is basketball season. Celtics got a nice win today up in Milwaukee. I don't know if you guys saw that with Jaylen Brown and Giannis sparring a little bit. Love to see the emotions flaring there. Comeback victory for the Celtics. If you want to go see this defending champion team that's feeling a little bit spicy in action soon, do it with Game Time. And this is the perfect time for it because this Tuesday the NBA Cup comes to Boston. That's the new name for the in-season tournament. Those bright green floors they're gonna have for it. Tuesday night at the Garden, Hawks, Celtics, and you can get in with Game Time. I'm looking at the map right now for as cheap as $80 with Game Time picks. You go into the map. I've talked about this, been saying it all year, but you go into the map, it's going to show you the cheapest tickets. It's going to highlight with little flames. You know what the cheapest ticket to get in the building is? You're going to see a bunch of stars on the map for some of the great value seats, the great deals. So you can get in the building for just $80, and that's all in pricing. That is fees included. If you want to see this one, or you can go sit down in the bowl, down closer to the floor for we got seats here in the 100 section. It's not the 100 section there, but you know what I mean. For I see $160, I see 148. You can get even closer if you want. Some for under 300. So some good deals down there. Take advantage with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, that's our ad read. Back to this one. I'll kind of put out a couple notes here about things that I'm going to be looking for when I get into the film of this game. I thought May looked hesitant at points, and I want to see what exactly it is that's making him hesitate. It's not the most productive day for him. We mentioned this is the most yards the Patriots have had in quite some time offensively. Passing only 184. Pretty modest day for May. 15 to 25, 184 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Not a bad day. Not that great of a day statistically. I think he probably outplayed the statistics. But, just an okay day, which I think it's good to be able to win a game and be this productive like that. This is a Bears defense that's one of the better ones they've played all year. So being able to put up this many yards, consistently move the chains and get into the red zone is awesome. One thing I liked, this team was able to win the third down battle, 5 of 14 compared to the Bears being 1 of 14. What I didn't like, 14 third downs. This team had a couple of drives where they were able to really move the ball, bunch of 3-and-outs, and then they had a fourth down conversion in there. So that'll help the numbers. But I think I'd like to see them a little bit better on third down. Not a bad day, but I think they can be better. I think they can avoid some of those third downs. I think we saw what this offense can look like when this team plays ahead of the sticks. That early in the game, they were able to consistently get these first down runs to get drives going. It's just the first drive, you get a botch snap from the center. Third drive ends in a pick, which is tough. TJ in the chat asked, this was technically Drake May's first NFL win. This is his second. His first was the game against the Jets, I believe, because the win always goes to the starter. He started the game against the Jets. So even though Jacoby Brissett handled most of that one, this is May's first wire-to-wire NFL win, which is nice. But yeah, not his first actual win, which I think is really funny. But yeah, a couple notes on personnel. Let's start with the offensive line. We talked on the Wednesday show or Thursday show this week about them possibly moving Michael Leonard to left guard and Layden Robinson at right guard. They ended up backing off that the next day. So it was the same line that we've kind of been seeing for a little bit here. They ended last week with I went with right guard, Devontae Jacobs at right tackle, and then Michael Jordan at left guard, Ben Brown at center, and Vidarian Lowe at left tackle. The line did a pretty good job. May was under pressure at some points, but you're only allowing 1 sack. I think that's a very good number right there. You're able to run the ball. I think you got to be happy with how the offensive line looked today. The other personnel thing. What we're seeing is that it seems like this team really only wants to play 5 wide receivers, but they have 7 on the roster, and usually 6 of them are going to be active on game days. So we've had a couple days in here where I think it was 2 weeks ago, Javon Baker active on game day, but knew he wasn't going to have a role on the offense. Today, that was Kendrick Bourne. Let me think about how to phrase this. I can't be too upset with the coaching on offense right now for this game. The decisions made specifically for this game. When you move the ball the way you did and you score the way you did, this is a good day for this offense. That said, the rationale for not playing Kendrick Bourne today, 0 snaps, is that you want to give the offensive players or the young receivers more time out there. I like that mindset. My question is this. Why the hell then is KJ Osborne your second most snaps for wide receiver? Or at least he was at one point in this game. There's kind of 2 parts to that question. One, I don't think that KJ Osborne is better than Kendrick Bourne. Obviously, at this point, they seem to disagree, despite the fact that Bourne had 40 yards receiving last week and KJ Osborne was a healthy scratch. I don't know what changed this week for them to now say we want Osborne and not Bourne. This is actually going to be a 3-part thing for this. KJ Osborne is here for this season. Kendrick Bourne is signed for the future. Do you not want Kendrick Bourne to get time with your quarterback to develop chemistry? Especially when Bourne is the guy the type of receiver he is, you really want there to be chemistry. And the third thing is, if the goal was to play the younger receivers more, why aren't you playing the younger receivers more? Why doesn't Jalen Polk have more snaps? Jalen Baker played a couple snaps, but why doesn't he have more snaps? Hell, if the biggest thing here is saying we want our younger receivers to get more snaps, shouldn't both Bourne and Osborne be riding the bench? We're going to give Tyquan Thornton more run. The rationale here doesn't necessarily make sense to me. I can be okay with it for one game because they won and the offense played all right. If they keep this group and it continues to play well, then they will have, eased my doubts here. But I have doubts. I want to know a little bit more about what's going on here because in my eyes, the 5 receivers that should be getting playing time are Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, and Kendrick Bourne. Those are the 5 I want out there. I'm not sure why they're opting for a different 5 at this point when I think that group has been all right. So, yeah, that is definitely a question for me. Defensively, no Kyle Duggar today, no Christian Ellis either. So Sion Taki played well. Curtis Jacobs, I don't think played a ton, but he didn't stand out in a negative way. So, that's good. I think the linebacker play has started to get better again. So I think they're improving from that debacle in in London against Jacksonville. Defense stepping it up a little bit there at the second level. I feel really good about the safety position. We'll see what happens with Jabril Peppers, but I'm kind of fine without him at this point. You look at Del Pettis making a couple plays today, Brendan Schooler making plays today on defense, Jalen Hawkins made a couple plays, and Kyle Duggar will come back. And they're also playing Jonathan Jones back there at safety. So I think their secondary is doing well. Christian Gonzalez didn't really allow much of anything today. Marcus Jones and Jonathan Jones have been very physical making tackles, which is awesome. I thought that was one area where they got a lot better defending runs to the outside. Marco Wilson, I think, has been a liability for them in run defense. So I want to see Jonathan Jones out there a lot more. And speaking of Jonathan Jones, he was the one breaking him down after the game today. He seems like a great culture guy for them. Not somebody who you heard a lot about the last couple of years from a leadership perspective, but with things changing and turnover in the locker room, now he's one of the longest tenured guys out there, and he's making his presence known in the locker room. And I love that. Great dude, great fit for this team. The fact that he can play slot corner, outside corner, or free safety, and be able to cover, tackle, hit, shed blocks, and all of those is awesome. So super useful piece for this defense, and a guy I think you want to keep around. So yeah, I think it's hard not to be happy with the result of this game. Next week they're going to play the Rams. The week after that they play the Dolphins. Those two teams play on Monday night. That's a Monday night game this week. Super intrigued to see what happens in that one. So I'm sure we're going to be keeping an eye on that and then talking about that in the show later this week. Let me read the chat here and see the questions. James talking about the uniforms today. They're 1-1 in the white and silver. Says he likes that even better. Oh, he liked that even better than our navy blue clashing with their navy blue for this game. I do agree. If we want to talk aesthetics, this is a great game to wear something that isn't blue against a team that is heavily blue. One of the primary things for a uniform is to create contrast with your opponent. So wearing a combo to do that is nice. So yeah, TJ asking, was Trevor Lawrence benched? Why was Mac in there? Trevor Lawrence is hurt. Sounds like there's a chance he's done for the year. So we might be seeing a lot of Mac in Jacksonville, who had 2 interceptions and a lost fumble today. Just throwing that out there. Back to the uniform talk real quick, because James is mentioning the silver. I'm gonna guess we see the silver pants at home next week, because the last time that they won in silver pants was that game against Buffalo last year, and then they went down to Miami the week after and brought them with them. So I bet they come home and we get to see the silver pants at home again against the Rams, which, depending on what the Rams wear, this is it could be the updated version of the 2001 Super Bowl in terms of uniforms. That one was silver, blue, silver for the Pats. It was blue, white, gold for the Rams, and might get that same color combination, just with the updated brands for each team in this one. Which, yeah, that's kind of fun. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point. I don't have a whole lot else to talk about, and I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Pats Nation podcast. So we'll see you Wednesday night. Pats, 3-7. I believe technically 2 games out of the playoffs at this point, which is insane. I don't think they have any real chance of catching up, not without a winning streak. I think if we were to ever talk about playoffs with this team, they'd have to go 6-1 down the stretch. So that means you got to win this week. Every week is going to have to be a win. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But Pat will be back with us on Wednesday. I'm sure he'll tell us all about Chicago and deep dish pizza or whatever, whatever else he enjoyed out there. One other note: Patriots are now projected to have like the 7th pick in the draft. I don't really care that much about the draft pick at this point. They're going to pick where they're going to pick. They're winning games. I am happy. I think we'll end on that note. I'm Matt St. Jean. This is the Pats Nation Network, and we will see you later this week. Thanks for listening.